Okay, guys, let's grab a ball and let's just throw it back and forth for now. Let's just before we do any thinking, let's just kind of check into where we're at, check in to the space. So step number one this morning, recognize it's Friday. 5 days of throwing and catching this ball, 5 days of 20 minutes in the morning, and just take a look around your space, have a look around and just notice a few things that you don't always notice. And I've started to take this practice into my everyday now. After doing it in the morning, I'm like, oh, I've not seen that in a while. I've not seen that in a while. That's where that come from, and it sparks memories. It's just nice little bits of mindfulness that are starting to become automatic behaviours through the day. So just take a few breaths, just turn around, throw the ball in whichever way you want, but just make sure you connect to that ball as well. So make sure you feel it land in that hand. Make sure you're aware of that breath and just pluck out a few memories from your space. Take a deep breath in as we do this, and just in your own time, come into a standing position with your feet shoulder width apart. Maybe give your shoulders a bit of a shrug up and down. Excuse me. And then just come into this sight swap one. So just to be a bit mindful this morning, we're just going to run through all of the sight swaps. So this is number one, throwing that ball back and forth. Number two, it's that silent ball in one hand. Number three is that crossover. Number four, up and down. And number five is higher than three, but it's essentially the same thing. So let's do that again. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's walk through your week. Number one is Monday. Think about something that happened on Monday. Anything, the first thought, that catch the thought. Tuesday, what happened on Tuesday? What did you do on Tuesday? Wednesday, third day of the week. Thursday, yesterday. And then Friday, today. Just as you do that, number five, just again, once more, before we move on, just take a look around the space and notice something else. Notice something that has come from somebody else. Maybe it was a gift. Maybe it was put there by somebody else. Think about the story and just check in with that. And let's gently come back to number one. So let's jump into some gratitude this morning. So for the last few days, we've been writing a mental letter to ourselves, to someone. So if you've done that over the last couple of days, I want you to add 2 new sentences to that letter, but reflect on that letter to start with. If it's brand new for you this morning, start a new letter. So this letter has to be 2-3 sentences of why you are thankful. Write it to a person in your head. So let's do that for 30 seconds. And you can start that off by, I am grateful for you in my life because. So let's do that in silence for 20 seconds, 30 seconds as we connect to the ball. Okay, and what I want you to do is I want you to keep this rhythm. You might need to slow this down. I want you to keep the rhythm, but I want you to go and grab a second ball or a second pair of socks or a second whatever you're using, and then do the same thing with 2 balls. If you're first starting out, this might be a bit trickier, but at some point it becomes so rhythmic and Rianne's popping in. So rhythmic and you don't have to think about it. Morning, Rianne. Morning. Did you have to take Sugar to school? Yeah. I'll tell you, the roads in Birmingham are so like congested now since the schools went back. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's check in with ourselves, with our feelings. So we're going to take this to a 4-4. And what I want you to do is I want you to try and make this as effortless as possible. Okay. If you've been juggling a while, obviously it will be a little bit easier for you. But notice as I'm in my hand, I'm not so much catching it as I'm letting it drop in and then just flicking it back out. So I've got this motion going on here. And more so than the ball moving, I've got the awareness of the movement. So as it lands, it just that motion happens, and as a result, the ball leaves my hand and travels somewhere. So instead of thinking about the throws, think about just the motion and the movement of your wrists, of your fingers, the sensations that you're feeling, and just check in with how you feel right now. Are you absolutely content right now? If you've got a busy day, is anything worrying you? And let's think about this as kind of our battery, if you like, or our positivity temperature, well, whatever that means. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to raise that temperature. So I want you to throw them balls higher and just give yourself a little bit more time to think. Okay, so as those balls are in the air there is more time, really. Okay, and I want you to bring it down probably to a level where you feel this morning. Okay. Be aware of the height of the balls. Be aware of the difference in the height. And let's just take it up to full capacity. So throw them as high as you can in your room without letting them hit the ceiling. And just recognize the difference in time from this moment here. So let's just, as we're here, let's move these. So let's take them travel. So we're going to continue with the 4-4, but I want you to hold them really close to you. Really close as you can. You might have to turn your hands in. Okay. And then really far away. So stretch out those arms and do the same thing. And notice that we can work on this plane as well. So we're working up and down, vertical. But we can also work here. So when we hold things too close, they get a little bit hard. And when they're too far away from us, again, it gets harder. But there's somewhere in between that's natural, that's quite comfortable, that we don't necessarily have to think about. We're not necessarily conscious of as jugglers or as people practicing throwing and catching a ball, right? It's kind of a natural process. And what we're getting at here is not necessarily the juggling, but the thoughts, really, that battery, that checking where we're at, where our feelings are. We're holding too many things in. Are we too outstretched? Have we got too much going on? And just kind of checking in with ourselves. Okay, so let's take those two balls. Let's put one on one arm here and the other in the other hand. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm making this up as we go. We're going to drop this ball into this hand. So we're going to drop the arm and catch the ball. As we do that, we are going to throw this into a 3 and we are going to try and catch it in that same hand. Okay, or maybe actually let's take this into a 5 so it's a higher ball. You are going to do these both at the same time. So as soon as you drop that arm, you are going to throw this ball. You're going to catch that ball first. You're going to turn your hand to try and catch the falling ball. That's number 5. We're going to try it 3 times. So lower that hand that's down here. That's ready to throw up. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And then catch. Okay, really nice if you caught it. Remember, if you haven't caught it, think about it just as a negative thought, just dropping out and just have that conscious thought. Let's do it again. If you found that easy, let's lower that 5 to a 3, or as low as it can really possibly be. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was really high again. Okay, and one final time. This time, this ball, if you've done it the last 2 times, cannot go above your head. So it can't travel above your head. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm impressed with myself there. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Woo! Good job, guys. Well done. Okay, let's jump into this week. So before we just jump to the theme, so we're just going to recap what we've done Monday to Friday, but we're just going to go through a site swap stream, let's call it. 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. So I want you to try and get this in your head. Let's do it a few times. 3-1. So for anybody joining in, that's a 3 and that's a 1. And you can just do that on its own for now. 3 and a 1. The next set is a 3 and a 3. So these are 2 3s being thrown. Okay. 5 and a 1. And then a 4-1-1. So you've got an option. You can take all of that if that's easy for you to think about. Or you can just take a little section of that and work on just that section with this same thing. Okay. So let's run through that one more time. 3-1, 3-3. 5-1, 4-1-1. Okay, we're going to jump in now to excitement. So this week's theme was excitement, imagination, and illumination, which we changed halfway through the week. So we're going to look at excitement. So what I want you to do is I want you to run through this stream of things. I'll say it one more time, but try and get it in your head. 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. And I'm just going to read a few quotes out, a few statements that I found each day in the morning that was going to help our practice. Okay, and this is about excitement. Okay, I'll read a couple out for each one. The only difference between fear and excitement is your attitude about it. The only difference between fear and excitement is your attitude about it. So maybe imagine that one of those balls is fear and one of those balls is excitement, and let's just juggle those two things and just think about that. 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. By switching which hand you start with, it's going to change that ball, doing the same thing. Doing the same thing, but giving just as much balance to that fear and excitement, and maybe finding a bridge between the two words. And how can we change our attitude to, I don't know, feel something different? I'm thinking as I go here. So the next one is fear is excitement without the breath. Fear is excitement without the breath. 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. We're going to do these 2 more times, but I want you to hold your breath for the first one. Okay, so take a deep breath in and hold that breath. 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. And this time I want you to overbreathe. Okay, 3 and breathe. I can't talk and do the same thing, so I'll let you breathe in your own time. And go 3-1, 3-3, 5-1, 4-1-1. Think about the difference where your focus was. Was it on the breath? Was it on the balls? Was it on your thoughts? Was it on the, there's lots to think about. There's lots to throw and catch. There's lots to. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to flip this backwards, and we're going to talk about imagination. So we're going to imagine all of these numbers running the other way. So 1, 1, 4. Let's try that. 1, 1, 1, 4. You can do it with 1 ball, you can do it with 2. 1, 1, 4. Completely up to you. It gets harder as we go. 1, 5. So 1 ball, 1, 5. 1, 5 with 2 balls. 3, 3 is exactly the same. And then 1, 3. Okay, so let's get this in our head now. 1, 1, 4. 1, 5. 3, 3. 1, 3. 1, 1, 4. 1, 5. 3, 3. 1, 3. You can choose 1 ball or 2 balls. So my first quote, the excitement ones were uncredited, but this is an Einstein one. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Logic will take you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. 1 1 4 1 5 3 3 1 3. The next one I quite like. It's a Deepak Chopra quote. The best use of I want to read this closer. The best use of imagination is creativity. The worst use of imagination is anxiety. The best use of imagination is creativity. The worst use of imagination is anxiety. 1 1 4 1 5 3 3 1 3. And let's just come back to 4 4 here. So we spoke about illumination. We added that to the theme of this week, and what came out of me thinking about that was this light switch, kind of almost this light that we can switch on and off. Okay, so by coming to these sessions every morning, you kind of switched on a bit of a light, let's call it. Like, I'm going to that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come for the week or whenever I can. Okay, so let's just recognize that as that switch on, off, that choice we can make on, off. Our goal, guys, is 6 days away. So we've been going now for 60 days, right? So 6 days, next Thursday, the 18th of March. I get a little bubbly here, a little butterfly here. Well, I think it's just because it was so far away and now it's here. So please come next Thursday because we'll have a little bit of a celebration, which is brewing every day in my head. Yes, bit of that, bit of this, bit of dancing, bit of whatever we want. So I want you to reflect on something that you learned this week, okay? So you can go with whatever bit of juggling you want. You can add a third ball if you want to do something, if you want to switch them up a little bit, whatever you want to do, just grab yourself a third ball. You can just work with one. You can work with one in your hands, but you can have two that are silent. You know, recognize these balls as balls of feeling, you know, balls of emotion, or balls of anything that's inside that we're not acknowledging that might be subconscious. So maybe give a name to all of your balls and just spend a moment reflecting on something that you learned this week about yourself, about something else. And what we're going to do is I like this one. We're going to gather as many things in our arms as possible. They don't have to be balls, but they have to be something that you can throw up and just let drop to the floor without breaking. So they can be anything you want. I've got a tub of balls, so I'm going to use this. Okay, so just grab as many things in your... I love this. Actually, I love watching more so than I... Yeah, lovely shoes, everything, panda, pillows, hats, papers. Oh, more, guys, get more. Okay, so once you've got it, I want you to just come here and I want you to just hug it all or hold it close to you and just recognize, have a look down and just look at one of the items that you've got and think about where that came from and what you did on the day that you got it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're not going to throw them up, but we're going to bend down and we're going to use the trajectory almost of your body to let everything go. Okay, just because we can, and we're going to be kids on this Friday. 3, 2, 1, go. And just recognize it all as anything that, any anxiety, any negativity that might be brewing in you. Recognize it as that. Anyways, have a beautiful weekend. I shall see you on Monday. And next week is our final week. We're going to start the course again, the whole next 6 days, but I've got a bit of a plan for that, but I'll talk to you about that next week. But anyway, have a lovely day. Yeah.
What sort of balls would be good to start with? Like, not too expensive and easy for... I've got quite a small hand. Well,
Pete, what would you say? I think these ones probably. I think they're the where can you get? I know you can get them from Oddballs, but Pete, can you answer that? Or Rhiannon?
Thuds. The ones that I get are Thuds, THUDS.
Yes.
You get them 120 grams. So if your hands feel little, you can get them at 80 grams.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty resilient and hard. This is about 6 years old. This is about 6 years old, this tatty one.
Yeah, I did have a quick look on the website, and of course there was loads of different types, and I didn't know what it was. So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, the triangle ones are cheaper, but they're not so easy to play with. I would go for thuds. What have you got, Rian?
I've just put a link in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
You put it in the chat. There you go.
Yeah, to Thuds. I think usually they're the cheapest, to be honest.
All right, thank you. That's great.
Oh, thanks for putting the link up, Rian.
It's all right.
Yeah, thanks very much, Joe.
No worries, guys. Have a lovely weekend. See you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Friends.
Cheers, guys, for joining in live. We're off for the weekend, but we are back on Monday. So if you'd like to join Zoom, you're more than welcome to. Head on over to spaceplans.com. You can sign up for an account. And there's a lot of other features on there now. There's a mindful calendar and there's some groups to be part of. Or join me weekdays at 9 o'clock. So I shall see